Welcome to Unbiased and on the Fence. I'm Shane. Thank you guys so much for joining us on this wonderful Saturday evening. Let's see, bring up Eileen. What is up, Eileen?
What is up? Shane thought I disappeared off the face of the earth, or AKA was taking a nap, because
I was wondering. Yeah,
I was texting you on Hangouts from the grocery store, which doesn't have Wi-Fi. So I thought you were getting my message saying, don't worry, I'm going to be late, because I didn't have any food in the house. And I know the girls are going to come walking in and looking for food. And it was 5:30. And I thought, should I or shouldn't I? Do I take a chance? And I'm like, yeah, it's 15 minutes away. We'll just grab some food, be back by 7, put it away, ready for 8 o'clock. And I went ahead and got a good portion of food, like half a trolley or cart. And then I went to the checkout lines. And this massive grocery store had 2 people on the checkout. 2. And there's like spaces for 8, right? And so I'm like, well, where do the lines go? Do you know those lines went all the way down the aisles to the end of the aisles?
because of the 6-foot rule.
Yes. And because there's nobody on the checkout. And I'm like, oh my God, it's like almost 7 o'clock. Normally I can check out in 15, 20 minutes. I waited 45 minutes. And that's when I was texting you on Hangouts going, hey, I know I'm going to be late tonight. So I asked the staff some questions really nicely so they don't chuck me out, right? And put my face up on the wall. She's not allowed in here. And I said, why do you only have half the checkout people you normally have? The hours have changed from 10 to 8 instead of 10 to 10, right? Or 8 to 10. I don't know if they were ever open that early. I was never up that early, so I didn't know. And she said, for social distancing, they've put us on different schedules. And I said, what? And she said, we've had all of our hours reduced for social distancing. And I said to her, she's a young girl, right? Young woman. I said, these registers are at least 12 feet apart. And when you're on, you're going to come, maybe that's why, coming face to face with the public. So they've reduced the checkouts to half. They've reduced the hours a third. And they've got just as many people shopping for food. So it's just that little extra stress. It's that little extra, oh my God, I'm going to have to stand in line for an hour if I want any food today, which is fine. If I plan for it, I don't mind standing in line for an hour, but not before show, when I normally could whip in, shop for half an hour, check out in half an hour, be home, have an hour to spare before the show.
Now, you said in your area they've already implemented the, what do they call it, essential items only or something like that?
No, in Vermont. That's from
Vermont,
EMIN
okay.
3 in Vermont, that there's an order for essential items only. But a lot of the things are disappearing from our shelves anyway that I don't think people would necessarily be hoarding. Like, for one thing, if you've hoarded toilet paper and you have a bedroom full of toilet paper, are you going to keep hoarding toilet paper now? Probably not. So by now you'd see, oh, there's toilet paper, but there's a run on pasta. There's a run on flour. There's a run on canned soups, but not toilet paper. So this guy I know, I talk to my people in the grocery stores all the time, and the post office, just blah, 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 blah. And I said to him, what's going on with toilet paper? I'm always running out because I never have any, because you never have any on the shelf. And he said, the manufacturers have run out. I said, what do you mean the manufacturers have run out? He said, we can't get it from the manufacturers. So now, if people hoarded it and they have a bedroom full, it's still not on the shelves because the manufacturers aren't making it. Now, I'm an oldie here, so I remember the OPEC gas shortage. There are a lot of people out there too in the comments who will remember this, of 1974. It might have been 1973. I think it was 1974. And a barrel of oil dropped to like 18 bucks, 9 bucks, 15 bucks. It was so cheap because the market was flooded with oil. So they created an oil shortage and they stopped shipping oil, petroleum, and gasoline. So we all had to line up for 3 or 4 hours to fill our tank. They
Wow.
created a shortage, which if you read like the information that's out there, there's a gazillion diamonds in the world. There's a ton of diamonds in the world, but they create a shortage. It's called a cartel. That's what a cartel is. It used to be called a monopoly, but it's really a cartel. And what they do is they only let out so many diamonds a year to falsely inflate the price so you can sell a diamond for thousands and thousands of dollars. If you put all the diamonds there are on the market right now, you could probably pick them up for the same price as a crystal or pretty glass.
Wow.
And the Native American Indians that I met in Santa Fe told me that they were doing the same thing with turquoise now, which is very, very smart because they're limited on their resources because they've still got these reservations, so they can either run a casino or they can make some shops for tourists. And what they're doing now, because they have a lot of turquoise on their land and they have beautiful turquoise jewelry, they're letting it out little by little, like the diamond cartel, so that they can falsely inflate the prices just to keep the prices high, because otherwise they'll be selling them for peanuts and they won't be able to buy food, on their labor, the silver work, the mining, the stone work,
Right.
So I'm kind of like sympathetic when it comes to American Indians. I don't know if they want us to call them that anymore. What are we supposed to call Native people?
Native
What are they?
Americans?
Native Americans? I call them
Uh,
original Americans, and they really like that, but nobody else uses that. I'm like, you're the originals. You're the original Americans. You were here before all the Western Europeans came over.
right.
So the original people, I kind of like sympathize with them letting a little bit of turquoise out at a time so they have something to live off of.
Hmm.
But I don't sympathize with them doing it on toilet paper because we need toilet paper in this house.
That's crazy. So yeah, they're pretty stocked up now, but they've been going pretty fast. But they seem to be
You've got
stocking.
loo roll?
Huh?
You've got toilet paper?
Oh yeah, yeah,
My goodness.
yeah. In fact, it looks like they had stocked up the area they normally stock up, and then they had like a big pallet of it in the middle of the floor. Like
Okay,
that's
you
like
got
the
our toilet
first.
paper because we haven't had any for over a month now. Ever since there was a run on it, we've been empty. That's in the southwest of
Wow.
Florida. So no big cities around here. Like, Miami's 2 hours away, Tampa's two and a bit, just a bunch of little towns. I guess the biggest city 45 minutes away would be Fort Myers, which has a little airport, but that's
Right.
not a big city. So we're just out. They're just not sending it down here. That often happens. Like we were the first to run out of gasoline during Hurricane Irma because we're at the bottom of the state, and you have to go pretty far driving to ship stuff down here.
Right.
It's a long state. So we did
Yeah.
run out first of gasoline, and then slowly it inched its way up to Georgia that they were running out of gas, then Clearwater, then Pensacola.
So if it works the opposite way, then Georgia needs to be plentiful and work downward until
Yeah, somebody
it
needs
gets
to
back
ship
down
us
to
some,
you.
parachute it down to us at the bottom here because there's nothing past us, really. The Keys, what about the Keys? The Keys are past us.
Right.
Yeah, and they're American, so I imagine they haven't seen a toilet roll for a good long time.
Right.
It's just not
Do you
getting
have
down there.
like a super Walmart or anything close to you?
We do, but they're completely out. We have
Right. If you
two
find a,
super wallets.
are they not coming on the truck at all though?
We have two super Walmarts, 20, 30 minutes away in opposite directions. So we can go one way or the other. No problem.
Right.
Everything in between is one little Walmart, like, neighborhood store.
Yeah.
But then we have a super Target, one, and that's like 25 minutes away, 20 minutes away. So we have choices. They're just not getting toilet paper down to the southwest of Florida.
So they're not even getting a shipment and not even a
No,
small one. Oh wow,
no,
okay. Yeah, see
no.
like my daughter's boyfriend is a stocker at Walmart. So he's like, just come in around 11. That's usually when stuff starts getting out on the
Oh my
shelves. And
God.
then I asked the lady at Family Dollar. So I just kind of find out when their trucks get there. Family Dollars, they get there on Wednesday. So I just try to go Wednesday afternoon. But I haven't, for us, it's hand sanitizer. no hand sanitizer. It's like,
Oh, you see, we don't really use that. We use soap and water, hot soap and water, but we put a baby hand sanitizer in our handbags.
right.
And that's just, we have dogs, and if your dog does doo-doo and you're out and maybe you
Right.
want to eat after that, you
Right.
have to have hand sanitizer. But I have baby wipes in the car too. So I have baby wipes
Right.
and hand sanitizer,
Yeah,
but
baby
nothing in the
wipes are
house.
hard to get. The cleaning sanitary wipes are hard to get here in this area. Like if you want to just wipe stuff down, antibacterial, they're like wet wipes, but for
I got
wiping
loads
stuff
of
down.
those, but no toilet paper. But I did see toilet paper come in about 2 weeks ago, one pallet for a big grocery store. That's not normal. Normally, and it was one brand. And we literally took the toilet paper 2 weeks ago out of the pallet. It never touched the shelf. But that's
Wow.
not in a super Walmart. That's just in a big grocery store, which is
Were
much
they
closer to me.
limiting the people buying them?
Yeah, they said, I'm like, it's 5 PM. I just went to pick up a little food. And I'm like, are you kidding me? That's a pallet of toilet paper? And the people laughed. And they said, yeah. And I said, can I have some? And they said, you can have one. And then I looked around and it was like moths to a flame because people in front of me were carrying it out to the register. And as soon as people saw people carrying toilet paper, they all ran from all over the store. But I already had mine, right? And I didn't get attacked for my toilet paper. And we all got one, and then that was it. The pallet was empty, and it never touched the shelf. But that's not normal stock for Southwest Florida. Southwest Florida gets a lot of different brands. We don't just get one pallet of toilet paper in a huge grocery store a day. It was like, I think it was Cottonelle, a brand I've never used. And I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what the brand is.
Yeah, you can't get picky at that point, right?
No, you can't. So I'm just saying, I don't know if it's going to hit you guys, but they're cutting back on the staff. So that makes it a little bit more difficult to do your shop. It just adds more stress to it, but I don't mind. I'll sit there and wait now that I know that it might take.
It seems to me that you would want the opposite if you were really wanting to provide more social distancing for your customers. You'd have twice as many lines. That way they're not standing in aisles and having to walk by somebody within three, because you can't, the aisles aren't like 6 foot wide. So you're walking by somebody to get in line and walking by.
Yes, they're all walking right past, which I don't care.
Not that it's anything to worry about anyway.
Exactly.
But I'm just saying
I didn't care. And they looked embarrassed like they were walking right past me and I'd smile at them. And then people were getting really grumbly behind me. And people were getting grumbly in front of me when they went, well, where does this aisle end? And I'm like, down there, So I think it's the pressure cooker mentality. You're going to slowly see this. I'm not going to predict this, but for me, the reality that I'm in, they're slowly turning up the heat on the pressure cooker.
I got my first thing that was funny because I went out today and it was like probably a third of the people had a face mask on, but there was these 2 teenage girls walking. With their colorful mask on, and they kind of looked at me in a snobby way, like, why aren't you wearing your face mask? And I thought, oh, is that how it's going to be now? The face mask wearers are going to kind of frown on the other people like you aren't doing your part to cover your face? Or is that,
yes,
what this is headed?
we are actually tagging ourselves as the, the rebels by not doing, but it's not mandated. It's recommended. But even the president isn't wearing a face mask. He's like, it's recommended, but I'm not going to wear one.
Yeah.
So here is some really weird reverse psychology. Are you guys ready? Okay. I think we need to talk about this stuff, but not with any fear at all. Just stay smart. Just stay, we can't get one step in front of everything. At least be one step behind instead of 10 or 100 steps behind, right? Because then we can adjust and adapt quicker with our decisions. So I was thinking today, I thank you guys so much for sending me so many amazing videos. It's like, I don't even pick videos anymore. I just watch videos that people send me either by email or Facebook Messenger, and then I always comment back. I'll always get back to everybody within a week. You got to just give me that week to get through everybody's videos. And I'm putting the dots together, and Argentina is now trialing enforced vaccination, and you cannot get a passport or driver's license unless you're vaccinated. Okay, so Canada, the Prime Minister Trudeau, is that his name? Or am I mixing him up with the French one? No, I think it's Trudeau. Mm-hmm. Said they're going to do the same in Canada. And then Bill Gates came out last week and said, they're going to try to do the same in America. They're going to try. I like the way they're going to try to do it here. They're not saying they are yet because they got to put their foot in the water. you know?
Yeah.
And
Oh, and you can already tell they're trying. They're already on that road of trying, but
they're going to try here. Okay.
yeah.
So unfortunately, at least 50% to more, like 56% of the people now do not trust vaccines. And that's just normal people, not like truthers and, rebels. That's just normal people don't trust them anymore. And won't volunteer for them. I'm talking
Well,
adults. I think most
well,
people get their kids done anyway. But at
bottom line is,
64,
if you want to be, if you want to be protected and you want to get vaccinated, go do it. And that's your business. But how can they force it on someone else?
well,
And they will try, like what you're saying,
that's the
instead of
thing. If
like
you can't
showing
get a
up at the
driver's
door.
license, okay,
Right.
some of us could go, I don't want a passport. I'm staying in America. I don't have to go out of the country. And then they say, do you want to drive? And you're like, crap. Unlike Europe has got amazing public transportation. It's expensive to go on the train anywhere, but it goes everywhere. You can you can go to the train station in almost any European city and get somewhere within a matter of an hour. You'll have to wait an hour maximum for a train going in the direction you want to go. That's how good it is. But in America, we just don't have trains and buses laid out except for in the center of big cities.
Yeah.
So here's the reverse psychology, guys. This is what I'm thinking. You tell me what you think. So Scott, Scott, who does the Mandela Effect channel, Scott Harrison.
Oh, right. Yeah.
They've just been told that the south of England is going to be hit with a very bad dust storm, and that they should all go inside and close their windows and nobody go outside at all for like 2 or 3 days. And his video showed where they've had these strange dust storms hit England out of nowhere, not out of Africa, not out of Europe before. So he's wondering, with his tinfoil hat on, if there's going to be something in the dust particles that people can catch, because in 2015, we reversed the order for the Western nations. They can do biological warfare. It's legal. It's legal for us to create biological weapons.
Well, where's this dust storm originating at?
They won't tell you. They're calling it pollution. Dust storm pollution.
What?
Instead of saying
so what is it
red
in China
dust from Africa, right?
Right. What is it that they're spraying all in the streets in China? Have you seen that? The big trucks blowing out all this stuff everywhere?
Yeah, I think they say it's disinfectant, but God knows what's really in it. I think they're saying, yeah, we're disinfecting the streets from coronavirus. That's my guess. This one, Scott read the article on his channel today, and it didn't say where it originated from. The last one originated off a ship in, what's that called? Not the North Sea, the other one. English Channel. So I'm thinking, Argentina, Canada, UK, end of ban on biological weapons, right? Oh, in 2012, 2013, they signed into law that the American government can lie to us legally for the interest of national defense. So legally, they can tell us whatever they want, and that's legal. That they can say Martians are going to land down here from from Mars and put y'all in cages. And that would be completely legal for them to tell us that if they had a reason for national defense to do so. So we've got some really weird laws going on now that are allowing for the overstepping of power, which is great because it's a crumbling system. And I'm like, keep going, keep pushing it, because the more they overstep, the more people wake up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, oh, yeah. And that's what this whole thing is doing. How many people are scratching their heads now because it just doesn't feel make sense.
It doesn't sound right. It doesn't make sense. So I'm like, yeah, come on, really abuse your power. I'm not praying and I'm not intending that our ruling elite are nicey now. I'm like, come on, guys, go for it. Really go as far as you can so that the system can crumble and we can replace it with something that's far more compassionate or honest or truthful,
Yeah. Yeah, it's like they're tipping their hand. They're showing their cards. They're revealing their true intentions, their true nature, I think.
True nature. Is that because of all the intending we did for the veil to come down? Did we cause this in our timeline that we share here by always intending for 2 years now that the veil comes down and everybody sees the truth? Do you know how many times we've done that as a group?
You know, it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Wizard of Oz when Toto goes over there and he starts
Yes.
pulling the little curtain back.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
you see
don't pay
this.
attention to that man behind the curtain.
Don't look at the man behind the curtain, the little Einstein, little tiny, but he's pulling the levers and all the smoke is coming out and fire, and the Great Oz is terrifying.
I know.
But we've got truthers doing the same who are telling people, hey, these people aren't human. They're not human. They're archons. Don't go against them because they're 12-foot lizards, really, and reptiles. They only look like little men, right, in suits. But here's what I was thinking. This is going to be a pretty shocking thing to say, but I want everybody to think about it, okay? And you don't get scared about it, okay? We got to know, but not be fearful, so we can transmute it and really do what's right at the right time. What if the vaccine, which all the rebels are going to say, no, thank you, all the people who won't eat GMOs, all the people who will not use Roundup because it's a carcinogen, all the people who are just awake and know that they have to look at everything and decide what's good for them and their family. What if they all say, we're not taking the vaccine? And then what if something is sprayed where the only people who survive are the ones who took the vaccine? Because if I was a nefarious ruling elite, right, mastermind, I would want to get rid of all the rebels and all the people who won't eat GMOs and won't use glyphosate.
Right.
And won't
so you're
take
thinking
vaccines.
It's reverse psychology then?
Yes, I'm thinking reverse psychology. And that way I would save all the sheeple sleeple, the sleeple sheeple, to keep doing my bidding and keep doing what I want them to do. Right. Because they'll never look. They'll never know that a GMO is not particularly safe to eat.
Right.
They'll never question what's in a vaccine. They'll line their kids up, like little robots. And because right now they get 64 individual doses by the age of 18. It's going to be 120 or 1,000 doses by the age of 18. And as long as there are the people who will line people up without questioning, without looking, those are the people that the masterminds want to keep here because they're easy.
Well, I think when you look at them across the board, a lot of the things that you'll even see people that work for the CDC will change up the schedule a little bit because they just give them too many at one time and they're not tested that way. You know what I'm saying? They're not tested to give them all at one time. They're tested separately. So why do they stick them all in 9 shots at one time and stuff like that? This booster with 3 to 9 different things that they're treating for to this brand new baby. And then they wonder why there's these strange effects, in
2014,
immediately,
we had 400 kids get paralyzed or die from April to September. And the only commonality was they'd all received a meningitis vaccine. It was just a bad batch. Do you remember when we had a bad flu batch a couple of years ago? We had a bad flu batch, too, of vaccines.
Of the vaccines. Yeah, I think I do remember hearing about that. So, this is like one of those things where this could become a huge issue. And for the voters in November, if you got a pro-vaxxer and a non-pro-vaxxer in your state, it might be worth making a call to your congressman or senator or whoever.
Colorado already announced that they're not going to enforce mandatory vaccination. They're already announcing that. So everybody's going to I'm moving to Colorado. We're all going to move to Colorado. Why not? Why not get all the rebels in one state? And then you only have to crop dust one state instead of the whole country. And then they didn't have the vaccine and it's all, lilies and 6 feet under with all the rebels. I don't know. Yes, my mind is going into the science fiction realms. But how many things that were sci-fi became reality? How many?
Well, I don't think things are just random like that. So a lot of those theories where you think it could turn into something like that, I feel like it's too orchestrated for that. Personally, I do anyway. But I do like to think about, like they're talking about Atlas seems to be breaking apart at this time. So is it multiplying? The one video where it's multiplying. It's multiplying.
It's multiplying. There's more. Okay, all those facts we gave out last Saturday?
Yeah.
The facts have been changed, which is okay because not everybody knows everything. But
because the mass isn't together anymore?
Yeah, exactly. So now they're saying it's going to be brightest on May 23rd instead of May 5th. And now they're saying it's like 90 million miles away instead of 167 million kilometers. 90 million isn't that far, is it? Is 90 million miles far?
90 million miles would be... Well, 60 miles is 90 kilometers, so 90 would be what?
I mean, how far is the sun? Do you know?
45, 135, 135 kilometers, 1,000 kilometers, or million, or whatever you just said.
How far is the sun?
93 million.
So that's what I'm reading
miles.
now today. I'm reading 93 million
miles.
miles. They're telling me it's the same distance as the sun, which would mean that it's going to go into the sun, right?
So no, I think it's on a trajectory that's sort of diagonal. You know what I mean? You know how like we're on this plane? I think it's swooping into this angle, so it's going to swoop right around the sun and a few of the planets and swoop back out. But I'm wondering if a little piece will fling, or some of the pieces
breaking
fling
up in the tail.
So you have no idea where those little pieces are going to go. Now it's going to throw the whole trajectory off.
If the things now they're saying it's twice as big as Jupiter. Remember last week it was 5 times as big as Jupiter? Every single day the statistics on Atlas change.
So I don't know. The Atlas thing, to me, the timing of that is super exciting. Like I don't mean in a fearful way. I mean it's like I think something cool.
Ascension time, baby, that way, right?
It's yeah.
Ascension time, we're there.
It's like maybe family showing up or something, star family. That'd be awesome. I don't know what it is, but I know I'm excited about,
it's
watching
just super cool. And
even if it's just a celestial event, it's still cool,
Now they're saying it comes around every 6,025 years. I'm like, I doubt your 25 years very much, bud. Can't you just stick to 6,000? How did they come up today to 6,025?
They're just guessing. You can tell they're just guessing.
We could guess. I beg to differ. I think it comes around every 6,015 years. I'm going to go for that.
And you might be right on the button on that one.
I mean, like, does 15 years matter in a 6,000 year quota? Right. What is 15 years in 6,000 years? If you have to wait 6,000 years for it to come back, you don't really care if it's an extra 15 or not, unless you're on the planet then,
Yeah. I do find it awfully odd that, and adding that probably even helps that, but the precession of the equinox, what is it, 25,000 years?
Well, actually, I looked that up. It's you can look it up too. There's a great documentary called The Great Year on YouTube. Well worth watching the whole thing. And it's actually 26,000 years, which is 2,000 years in each sign. But for some strange reason, because a planet or nemesis, the star, the sun, the dark sun, also comes by every 26,000 years. And as it gets closer to Earth, time speeds up. They show that in a model, and it gets done every 24,000 years. So when the two, like let's say it's Nibiru or Nemesis, are like far away, it's on a 26,000 year trajectory. And then as those two get close, everything speeds up. So it gets done in 24,000 years. Isn't that strange?
So if it gets done in 24,000 years and you break that into quarters, there's your 6,000 years. So this thing comes by quarterly.
Yes. And that is the rising and falling of the Kali, of the Yugas. They're not Kali Yugas. One of them is Kali. Kali is chaos. And it's the goddess of chaos from India and Hinduism that breaks everything down so you can start anew. You can build anew. And we're supposedly leaving right now the Kali Yuga, which is the chaos, the 6,000 years of chaos. Isn't that interesting? And we're supposedly going into a yuga that is more of a golden age of peace and cooperation.
Is that at the 2012 mark or right now? Or what?
Yeah, it was around the 2012 mark, which means around now as well, because when you're talking 6,000 years per yuga, what's the difference between 2012 and 2020? Right. It's like if you were predicting it, that would be right on the mark, whether it started in 2012 or whether it started in 2020, you'd still be considered on the mark. You're off 10 years out of 6,000 years.
All right.
Yeah, but it's now. Just now, like in our lifetime.
So I'm watching this Atlas thing. I think this might tie into it somehow. How I'm like really, and then even I was thinking about that hit movie Bird Box. How it kind of tied into this whole
Bird
thing.
Box. Oh yeah.
You remember how it's. So I do like to see how like as you hop in a different views of what's happening, and to kind of just play in it for a little bit and see what lines up with that, and then play in another one or whatever. And there is a lot of overlap because of course, if you see a train with tanks on it or something like that, that could play into, it could be that, they're sneaking up on our back, or maybe there's these underground wars going on and they're taking out, these underground bases. There's so many different things that could point to, you know what I mean? But the Bird Box one, I find it interesting because how the similarities of this invisible enemy that you don't want to go out of your home, you know what I mean? And it's
I do.
And that was such a big thing. And even though it wasn't portrayed as a virus or anything, it was more this monster,
Yeah, but I never noticed the similarities. It doesn't matter if the monster is viral or an alien monster. It's still a monster that's going to kill you one way or the other. It has the same effect. Right. And what about Ronald Reagan and then Bush and all of them saying, what we need now is a common enemy. He said a common enemy. He did not say what we need now is aliens, although he did say what if they came from outer space. He said what we need now
alien threat. An alien threat can be a virus, though.
Yes, and he said what we need now is a common enemy. What would happen if we had a common enemy to fight? It would unite the world in a new world order. Yeah. The common enemy is the CV. It just
the common cold.
It is. And it has divided us into those who believe it and those who do not. And then there's a third camp of those who believe it but think it's all being exaggerated. They're like on the fence going, no, it's real, but they're blowing it up for a political agenda. I'm kind of like, I'm there in the middle thinking, you know what? I think the virus might be real, like it's real, but I think it's being blown up for a political means.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Although Ron Paul is calling it fake news. Ron Paul, wasn't he like senator here? I lived in Europe from 1990 to 2012. Wasn't Ron Paul Sr. one of your senators? Didn't he run for president? He's got this channel with like 275,000 people, and he's really old.
Yeah.
His son is in the Senate. His son, I think, replaced him and took his Senate seat.
So you're talking about the one that did run for president?
Yeah.
Right.
He's like in his 80s, right? He's on there every day with the Ron Paul Liberty Report for 1 hour. And yesterday or today, he called it fake news. And I'm like, they're not taking you down, Mr. Ron Paul, because you're too powerful. But if any of us went on and said that, we'd kiss our channels goodbye. But he's getting away with it.
So we had to go pick up my 3 kids that's still in school. We had to go pick up these learning packets, or grade, for each of their grade. They had their own packet for their grade or whatever. I was looking at one of my daughters, my wife brought it to me, and she goes, look at this on the first page. It was about fake news. And it was like all about bad information can spread around the world on the internet. And, it was, and it was going on and on about fake news, and I thought it was pretty interesting. I wanted to mention that because I'm like, wow.
Oh, my God. See, now I homeschooled my daughter a little bit, but then she was in public school as well. It depended on the teachers and the years and what we felt like and what country we lived in. And she did a bit of high school English online in Florida, and it was provided by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. English. And the first story she had to read, and then she had to ethically analyze it. This is not ethics. This is English. Freshman year, right? Was about an astronaut who's got just enough gas in his little pod to get to a distant planet where there are 7 astronauts who are going to die if they don't get a vaccine that he's bringing.
Oh,
wow. So he gets in, buckles himself up. It's bon voyage Earth. I've got my little packet of vaccines for these 7 guys. I'm going to save their life. They're like exploring and mining for Earth to see if, they can find stuff that we need. And there's a 15-year-old girl, innocent, that's the virgin, right? It's the archetypal virgin who sneaks on board and hides in a closet because her brother is one of those people, and her mom and dad have died, and she wants to see her brother. Okay?
All right.
So halfway through the flight, the warnings go off and say he's not going to make the planet. There's too much weight on board. They put just enough fuel to get him from Earth to there. And it didn't say about coming back. That's interesting, because that was not calculated in there. It was saying he could not get there and save 7 lives. And out comes the girl And here's the moral dilemma. Now, this should be taught in an ethics class, not in freshman English. The dilemma is, should he keep the girl alive and crash, run out of fuel, die in space with her, and kill 7 people? So therefore, he kills 9. Or should he push this girl out the door into space and kill 1 to save 8? Wow. And I'm like, this belongs in ethics class. I'm sorry. That was her first lesson, first day online English, freshman year. And she went to regular freshman year classes as well, but they let you take up to 2 classes online at home if you like. And she chose English.
Wow.
So the end of the story was she had to take the test at the end, and she couldn't pass it unless she said that the astronaut should push the child out the door. To pass, you had to have a grown man kill a child in order to save himself and the 7 men on another planet. And I let her answer it that way so she could pass it and move on. And then we had a proper moral ethics discussion. And I said, this is completely wrong. Why is it wrong? And she's like, I don't know. I guess because you're not supposed to kill. I said, yeah, thou shalt not kill. It's not that thou shalt not kill unless killing 1 will save 8. Then God says, yeah, okay, it's okay. Kill 1 because you're going to save 8. See?
Right.
It's going against the very basics of our Western religious morality.
Right.
That, it's okay to kill in certain circumstances.
Right. And I love that because I was watching like Yale University's lectures on philosophy, and they had a similar question. It's like, okay, there's a train coming down the tracks. You're at the switch. If you do nothing, it plows into 3 unsuspecting people that don't know it's coming. If you pull the switch, it will be diverted and then just run into 1 person, and you only kill 1 person. So if you don't act at all and leave it to fate, 3 people will die in this analogy. But if you act and pull the lever, then it'll be your fault, but only 1 person will die.
So what was the correct answer?
Is there a correct answer?
Exactly. There isn't one. But they're making these kids come up with their correct answer in order to pass and move on to the next module. They're called modules.
Okay, so this goes back to like one of my favorite shows, like where it's like, Jack Bauer in 24, and it's like there's this bus with these children and a bomb on it, and I just set off the alarms. But anyway, but he's got to go save these kids. This guy has the information to stop it, to find out where it is, and to prevent it. So how far can he go to get the information out of this guy to save a busload of kids?
Of people. How far? Yeah. Like how far can you torture him?
Right, exactly.
My God, that's a terrible ethical dilemma.
Do you want to ask the parent of one of the kids, or do you want to just ask somebody that has no, connection with it at all? They have no, they won't lose anything, Okay, I'm sure you'll get 2 different answers, won't you?
I swear it was the 24 Jack Bauer thing too, where like one of those years, I watched it for 3 or 4 years. A good show. Somebody in Congress was delivering something that was going to like blow up the Pentagon because they had her children. And if she did not deliver this briefcase or whatever to blow up the Pentagon, they were going to kill her children on video. They were sending her videos of her kids, So what do you do as a mother? And of course he stopped her before she blew up the Pentagon, and she went to jail, of course. And of course he saved the kids somehow too. But as a mother, what would you do? Or a father, what would you do? Would you put the lives of the strangers in the Pentagon before the lives of your own 2 children? Could you do that? This is the hero's journey that everybody talks about. Campbell, about myths, and Jung. These are in our minds constantly. We're constantly, every time we watch a movie or a TV show, we think we're the hero. So we sympathize with the hero. We don't sympathize with the baddies.
All right.
So what does a hero do? How far of a sacrifice? Yeah, the greatest hero sacrifice themselves to save a lot. Like They run the train off the tracks and they derail it just with them so that people don't get killed.
Right.
That's a hero. But when you're trying to decide between killing X and killing Z, there is no choice. Really? Is there a choice? Does it just come down to numbers? Like Gates taught my daughter in order to pass, he did, by the way, the pilot pushed the teenage girl out. He did. He killed her. And he was very distraught about it, but he delivered the vaccines and he saved 7 men and himself. And she couldn't pass and move on in the module unless she agreed that that was the right move to make. So our English classes are trying to brainwash our kids about ethics, that it's okay to kill under certain circumstances.
That's wild.
That's wild. And I told her, no, we're heroes in our family. Huh?
Yeah, America's education system. That's wild. It's hard to believe that would even be in there like that.
Yeah, right off the bat. And I complained. I called the online school and I called the teacher and she said, all the parents are complaining. I thought I was all alone, you know? And she said, nope, I have received numerous complaints about that story from the parents who are supervising their kids going, this is wrong, guys. Just don't make them make those choices and then say, you get an F if you save the girl and do what a hero would do and just die with the child on board. Saying, you know, I can't save her, but I'm not going to save myself and kill her. That would be the hero's move.
All right.
So I'm just so glad I'm not the only one out there who thinks like that. Or we in this group are not the only ones on the entire planet who think this way. It's like most people do think the way we think. Yeah. But they might not always be exposed to what's going on. We might be exposed to more that's going on because the veil dropped for us a long time ago.
Right. That's a really good point, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and that was actually one of the things that came through in a session recently is like somebody could just not have any idea about, you know, the kind of the topic of creating your own reality or helping move this current event in a direction we want. To just hope for the best outcome for all without really attaching anything to it. You know, if you're just sort of that kind of person, but you've got your core frequency that you're at, you know. So you might not know anything about any of this, but if you're that loving type of person, that's just how you are, you know. You're still part of that vibration.
Yeah, they're still going to New Earth. If they have no idea about 9/11 and chemtrails and the CV, and they have no clue whatsoever about GMOs not being really good and vaccines being a little bit toxic. They have no clue, but they're loving and kind and forgiving.
Yeah.
They're just going to show up in this new world or be born into it. If we have to work our way into it by leveling up, that might be part of the plan. It might not be, oh my God, 1 minute you're in this chaos and then boom, the next minute it's all cotton candy and rainbows. It might not happen overnight. You might actually level up. We might be talking about this lifetime you've completed the mission, and when you're reborn.
Oops. Oh no. She just popped right out of here, didn't she? I'm so glad it wasn't during the let's see. So happy that wasn't during the meditation, right? Let's see if she'll hop back in here. We'll give her a second. She's got the link. I'll try to...
There he is.
Oh. Did it open you in a different window? Let's see here.
Nope, it said Shane left the call. So I was going to go on my phone to see if I was still live with the chat.
I'm trying to find you here. I don't... Here, let me refresh this and see. There we go. Join, hang out. There we go. Okay. Now it was still saying that you left the call, and you're just now popped. Your voice popped up, but your camera just now popped up. So.
And I just got a message across my screen. Shane left the call.
Hmm.
And right now my screen is black. I'm here, but not you. Interesting.
Really? You can't see me? I'm going to turn my camera off and back on. See if that
there you are. There you are.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So, guys in the chat, did we ever go off? Did anybody go off?
You just went off. I was here the whole time.
Oh.
Yeah, it said the call has ended, I think, maybe.
Ugh. There we
Yeah.
go. I was getting too excited. I was like, yes, they're going to wake up in a really good, cooperative, loving place that can actually match their frequency.
Yeah.
But I was just making the point that maybe it's like the Mario game. You have to level up and you have to complete. You got to complete the what? What do they call it? The world? Don't they call them worlds?
Yeah. Levels or worlds, yeah.
Yeah. So is it okay with everybody if we don't just boom, wake up there tomorrow and we actually wake up there like next lifetime?
See, and there's so many ways this can play out because haven't you wondered if it's gonna like we're gonna wake up excited, looking around, and we're gonna be like, look, we made it. And people's gonna be like, what? It's nothing. It's always been this way. What are you talking about? Just like the Mandela Effect, you know?
Then that's individual ascension, quantum jumping, like Cynthia Sue explained. So it's gradual baby steps. So day by day, month by month, year by year, you're going to see your reality getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
But that's an
Absolutely.
individual journey. That is not necessarily boom, all the light workers popping up 5 levels into, you know, a new
Right.
world. It's a
But I
step.
think
It's
this
like a ladder. It's like a ladder.
this is a huge, and you can see it's everybody from every walk of life is looking at this in an opportunistic way. I think, like, well, anyway, anybody in any power positions of power, I should say, and is using this to try to catapult their agenda, so to speak. But it can go both ways. It's like one of those things that it's a catalyst. So it can
It's
be
a
used.
catalyst for change.
It's a catalyst for change.
It's an opportunity. It's an
Yeah.
opportunity for really good things to happen.
Right.
And I'm totally cool with people who say, look, I'm going to hold space for the love and the forgiveness and the new world to come in right here, right now, right where we are.
Yeah.
While people like me still have to go out and do a little bit of digging and then actually let other people see that so that they can wake up and join us too.
Right.
That's another job. That's another function where
Yeah.
I could leave that completely, but I can't because it's not my MO. It's not my job
Right.
to hold the space. It's my job to go in and see what's really going on and then share that with people who are just on the cusp of entering a new way of living, a new society, a cooperative society.
Absolutely.
But there's a
Yeah.
lot of people that I just do not force that on. I do not force it on people because they are so entrenched in what's coming out of the television that it makes them angry if they see it. As soon as they see like a doctor saying something, and if I do send it to them, they'll go, that person should be locked up and stripped of their medical license. How dare they say that? And I'm like, whoa.
What is that all about?
What is that all about? What's that anger about? Or these people should be taken down. And what do other people say? Oh God, I don't get any information off YouTube. YouTube is just full of fake information. I'm like, wow, where is that coming from? There's an anger there to protect their little paradigm, which means they don't believe it themselves. If you totally believe in something, you don't care what people say. The
Right. It's only
opposite,
when
you're
it's
like,
at risk that
it's
you.
only when it's at risk that you
Yeah.
care and you defend your paradigm because even you are starting to have doubts.
Yeah.
And then if somebody comes in and chips away at what little you have left, that's where the anger comes from. And they should be locked up and silenced and taken off
Yeah.
YouTube.
I don't know. I think this is every time I think about it, it's just so surreal to see everything playing out. And it hasn't gotten bad in this area, so I mean my heart goes out to anybody that's suffered through this or has lost their job or
Yeah,
I mean we
New York
lost
and the
our
coasts.
income,
The
but
coasts are suffering. The coasts. If you look at the CV map in America and you overlay that with the 5G rollout from October, it is the coasts that are
mm,
most affected by the virus and most affected by 5G. So that's going to lead to a heck of a lot of people mistrusting 5G just because of the coincidence of the map,
right.
right?
But it all makes sense because they're international airport cities, right?
Yep, yep.
So of course you're going to want the 5G there. You're going to have the international airport there. It's the bigger city, so what came first, the cart or the horse, right?
Yeah, the chicken or the egg.
Chicken or the egg, yeah.
Yeah, the heart of the cart or the horse or the chicken or the egg.
Right.
Which is why we don't subscribe to any of the theories here, but we look at them all. Yeah. But we can't say hand on heart which one is true and which one isn't. I don't know that we'll ever be able to know that for certain. It'd be nice if we did, if somebody could actually figure it out and then tell us what this is all about.
Right.
And why does it have to be one thing? Why couldn't it be timed with Atlas? Because the ruling elite are so into their alchemy and astrology, and the signs in the heavens are very important for when they do things. That's part of the ancient wisdom school and Levette channel.
Biker Babe saying, come to Michigan. It's horrible here. Wow.
What's going on in Michigan? I had no idea.
I think I'd heard reports on mainstream about there, but I haven't seen, have you? No. What have you seen with your own eyes, Biker Babe? Because I've heard of reports from up there.
I haven't heard anything.
Citizens on the ground. Well, Detroit, you hadn't heard? I heard Detroit was pretty bad.
Really? No. I just knew Detroit was very bad because there was very little economics, no jobs, and dirty water.
I think Detroit was a mess before any of those.
Yeah, they've really neglected Detroit badly, badly.
Which is strange because it's still Motor City, right? Don't they still have a ton of, no?
There's no manufacturing of cars in America anymore. Right now, Ford is made in Mexico.
Oh, wow.
And Volkswagen is made in Mexico. American Volkswagen cars that are sold here are made in Mexico. I don't know that there's any cars manufactured. I know Cadillac isn't there anymore, right?
I don't know.
I'll have to look it up.
Last I knew, they were all in Detroit. But
yeah, I know. Back in the heyday.
So you can't buy any gardening stuff. Can't go fishing. Okay. So what about sick people? Biker Babe. When you said it's horrible, I'm thinking you're saying
I bet they're on a lockdown like Chicago. Chicago's on a lockdown. If you step out and you're not going to a doctor or a grocery store, they'll arrest you. It's not even a fine. My family in Denver, they're fined if they're not proving that they're going to a doctor or a grocery store. It's like you can always prove I'm on my way to the grocery store. Which one? You know which grocery stores are between you and your car. So I can't see how anybody can actually get fined. Because they'd have to prove that you didn't need to go to the grocery store. So there are places that are on serious lockdowns.
And then what, that seems that if you were, I don't know, it just seems like that's not social distancing if you're locking people up and booking them in and taking them down to the jail,
they emptied all the jails. That's why, they've got people out of the jails to make room for people who can go into the jails now. And it's the people who don't social distance themselves. I saw a lady get arrested. And she had her camera going the whole time. And I'm like, oh, my God, you were willing to go that far. And you could see these two police officers in England just did not want to do it. I think it was called FE Wacky Carry or something like that. Wacky FE Carry. We know what FE stands for.
Right.
And she just filmed the whole thing. And she was sitting on a park bench all alone. And two police officers walked up to her and said, it's illegal to sit down. And she said, well, actually, it's not. I've read she did her homework. She read the entire thing. And she said, it's not illegal for me to sit down as long as I'm taking my exercise. And they said, what exercise are you doing? She said, I'm exercising my mind. I'm meditating. And they went, no. You have to walk. You have to, you got to do something. You got to move.
No, keep the mind idle. Keep the mind idle.
No, she was like, I'm exercising my mind. And eventually they did have to take her off. It took a while because she really had to convince them to arrest her because they were just like, look, we don't want to arrest you. Just get up and keep moving. Just walk. And she's like, nope. This is not specifically against the law. And she knows law. I think she's legally trained. She said Napoleonic law is if it is not specifically allowed, then it's illegal. But the Magna Carta law, I'm starting to sound so smart. The Magna Carta law in the United Kingdom means if it isn't specifically banned, then it's allowed. It's the opposite of France. See?
Yeah.
So she said, this exercising my mind has not specifically been banned yet. Therefore, I can do it. And
All
those poor
right.
cops, they're like, their heads were swimming. They're like, can we arrest her or not? Is she right? Is she a lawyer? What the heck's going on here?
You say I'm exercising my lungs, right? My
Yes,
heart.
but she was sitting on a park bench.
But your heart and lungs
You
are still
got to keep
operating, right?
moving. You got to keep moving. And although there was nobody around her through the whole 20-minute ordeal, except for 2 cops very close to her, violating the social distancing order by being that close to her. If they just left her alone on her park bench because she was alone, she would have been social distancing just fine. So she might actually win her case because there's a channel and a group called UK Column. They are like the ACLU, and I think they're taking on her case. There's a lot of lawyers now doing free work for people who are willing to get arrested during this lockdown, just so that they can push the law and see, where does the law stop? Are you allowed to sit down on the grass alone or not?
Right. Are you allowed to exercise your mind or not?
Or not.
Yeah.
And another guy in the UK got arrested for sculling on his own. What is it called? Kayaking. So he was out there kayaking, exercising.
Where at?
Alone in the UK. Kayaking.
Okay.
Kayaking in a river. I don't know where. Just kayaking away, and he got arrested. Because you're not allowed to do anything in the water. You're not allowed to fish. You're not allowed to swim.
Wasn't it in Florida? Somebody was on one of those boogie board, those short surfboard things in the water, and they arrested him because they
they closed all the beaches. But
he
why?
Was still out there.
Yeah, he's alone. He's social distancing. Why? What part of the law says you may take exercise, but it may only be in the form of walking alone? I've seen bicycles go by. They're not arrested. I've seen families of bicycles go by.
Yeah.
You're allowed to take exercises with those you live with. So you see, everybody does need to get arrested. I'm not saying go out and volunteer, but we really need people to get arrested so that then they can actually say where the law stops and starts.
All right.
You know? And it's a brave soul who actually does that on purpose, like that lady did, Carrie, and she made those 2 police officers take her, and they just did not want to. She was just ruining their day because they so tried not to arrest her. They so tried.
Right. Gosh. And I watch that all the time, and I'm like, oh, what do?
They said, we will give you a citation to pay a fine. And she said, nope, I won't have it. You have to arrest me. And they said, just give us your name. We'll send you a fine. Nope, I'm not giving you my name. So at that point, they had no choice. And she was doing that because I think she knew she would be backed legally and that it would be part of this testing of the law.
Right.
Because they tried to give her a citation and they tried to give her a fine. But if you won't give them your name and address, then they can't give you a citation or a fine.
That is really wild.
It's wild.
Yeah. And if you think about it, how's that much different than, say, Rosa Parks or someone who made this huge difference because she refused to get up and give her seat up.
Refused to give up her seat, yeah.
So, I mean, I really, it's those people like that those stories get out. It makes a difference. And, good for her.
They become our heroes. Like, everybody knows the name Rosa Parks. In fact, I'm going to make sure that my daughter knows that name. You guys do your kids a favor and tell them what Rosa Parks did.
Yeah.
Because we don't want that to die with our generation. We need to put that into the next generation as well. Because that's a really inspirational story. How brave of her. She was a seamstress. She was an at-home seamstress. And she abided by those rules. And she went to the back of the bus. And one day, she just didn't feel like it. She just did not feel like getting up and giving her seat to some white man.
Right.
Who said, "Oi, get to the back of the bus. I want my seat." And she just went, no, I'm not going.
It's hard to believe that. Wow. It's like, even now, it's like the way they treat women in some parts of the world. It's like amazing that that's even going on. So it's like, wow, that's current. How's that happening right now on the planet?
I grew up in the Middle East. There were some current things going on that I won't even talk about them, but they are actually happening. Like, okay, I'm going to just say one. In the villages, the Bedouin villages, if a girl gets raped, they're usually killed by their brothers or their father because they're no longer marriage material. I mean, come on. In this world, how can that happen? That cannot happen. So my mind would spin and I'd be like, I don't like this earth so much. It's not so nice down here,
Yeah.
And I'm not like saying that somebody made it up. These things were really happening when I was a teenager in the Middle East. They were really, really happening. And I was like, wow, this earth is just really harsh. And it's not so harsh for us in the West.
All right.
You know, if this is as harsh as it gets, that we have to stay home and not stand near anybody, that's pretty wimpy. That's not very harsh at
Yeah.
all, you know?
Right. That's what I've been thinking this whole time. I'm like, and it's hard not to seem like you're insensitive to people that are, having to sacrifice on one level or another, either financially or health wise. Maybe they get sick or give their life, God forbid. But at the same time, it could be so much worse.
Yeah. And we're not wishing that on us, but we're appreciating what
Yeah.
we have. So when I
Yeah.
walk outside, I'm like, I love the sky. The sun is shining. I just really appreciate my trees. And I just appreciate my home and my car. And of course, I appreciate my family and my friends
Yeah.
above all of that.
Yeah.
But to even notice the grass that's green and go, wow, I really, really appreciate that green grass right now. You know?
Yeah. I'm
That's
feeling like maybe gratitude might be a good one for tonight.
Let's do gratitude, guys. Let's just fill the earth with gratitude. And I have a theory about us here. We've been doing this 2 years in April. This is our 2-year anniversary. It might even be tonight. Do you realize that?
Wow.
We
No,
started
that's so
in
crazy.
April.
Wow.
Isn't that wild? We've done, and how many Saturdays
That would
have
be
we
like,
missed?
I don't know, not many.
Like
So we're
one or
probably
two a
at
year.
20.
We always skip one at
Yeah.
Christmas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've missed 2 a year in 2 years. So, and people have been doing this with us for 2 years as well. We got
Yeah.
and we got a lot of new people too.
Mm-hmm.
But gratitude. I have this theory that I think we are earth grid workers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happened with this group on Saturday night, is that it just sucked in and attracted all the energy grid workers. Because
Yeah.
I'm talking to people, in comments and emails. You guys, my email's available on my channel. Anytime you want to email me, it's just one on YouTube, but you can't put YouTube in it. You have to do a U as in umbrella for the YouTube, because if you put YouTube in it, it immediately gets spat out. They're like, you're not YouTube. We're not going to give you that email. And more I hear from people in our community, the more I realize that our connection is more than we needed to come together to feel good. We needed to come together to not feel alone. We needed to come together so we didn't feel weird. The coming together right now during this time is actually affecting the earth grid. There's an energetic grid of ley lines that underlies the entire planet, if you see it as a planet. And if you see it as a flat plane, the ley lines underline the entire flat plane, connecting sacred sites. So having us so spread out all over the place.
Powerful
Energy going on.
And when you think of manifestation, they say to feel it, to have the emotions and the feeling of having it already. So I would say, not only being thankful for what we have, but being thankful for this outcome. That,
yes,
just having that to go ahead and get there in our minds and be thankful for it.
Let's do it, because if we're thankful for this outcome, then it has no choice but to materialize, at least for the people being thankful. If not for, like you said earlier, a bunch of other people who are very deserving, but they're just not awake. Mm-hmm. They don't know what's going on around them, but they're equally
good, loving
deserving.
People.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think most of us who are the hardcore workers with love, I don't even call it light anymore, because light and dark, sometimes dark is good, PMH Atwater explained why in a dualistic place, dark and light are both good. They both serve a purpose. I'm not talking about baddies. I'm not talking about baddies. I'm just talking about the positive and the negative, the duality, the light and the dark, the night and the day, And if we can take some of them with us and help in that way, great. That makes us worker bees, or angelic workers, visitors, And if we only want to save ourselves and we're literally just saying constantly, take me, take me, take me, yeah, you're probably going to get there. But then you haven't come here to work.
Right.
You're just going, me, 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 please, please, me. I can't stand where I am. Please take me. That's okay. You'll go. Yeah. You'll keep your vibration high, but you're not coming here to work, right, to serve all, to serve others. So I think the people in this community are actually doing it for everybody. They're doing it for all.
Yeah.
They're not doing it just for one.
Mm-hmm. Or the power of one as a group, right? The
yes.
One group.
And being a part of the one, like each of us being a fractal of the one life in the universe.
Well, we have all our individual numbers. Let's see, we have 64. But the 65th entity is all of us together as a single unit.
Yeah, you're right. We're a single unit, so that makes a 65th.
Yeah. So there we go. So yeah, I say let's resonate with this wonderful future that we all know is coming and just feel it for a little bit, resonate in this feeling.
Yeah, let's do it. You guys good with that in the comments?
That everything works out. Thankful that things are gentle right now. Thankful that we do have what we have.
Peaceful.
Let's not focus on what we're out of, because it could be much worse. We could be completely out of water.
No, we're not going to focus on any of that. We're not even going to say it.
That our needs are being met right now.
They are.
Our needs are being met.
As far as I know, they are. I do think that the longer people are locked in, people who work hand to mouth and their work buys their food, and if they're not getting unemployment, like $200 a week might not be enough to live on. I think that's like average unemployment insurance is about $200 a week.
Mm-hmm.
So I want their needs met as well. I don't want anybody like left out who can't buy food or who says, oh, I got to go sleep in my car now because I can't pay my rent.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's a different intention night. I think providing for all is a different intention than our gratitude one.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I watched a video with Billy Carson, and he was explaining how you can actually get, maybe your mortgage deferred 3 months or your car payment. They just basically put the 3 payments on the end of it, so it frees you up for 3 months.
Yes, I got 2 months added to my car payment because I have a new lease.
Right.
And I got 1 month added to my credit card, and they said call back next month.
Okay.
If you need it next month. So everybody do that. Mortgages.
Yeah.
I don't know about rent. I'm renting.
All right.
Are you renting?
Yeah, I'm renting too.
So can you defer rent?
Doing anything. Like, I guess my landlord could probably do it, and he would probably pass it along to us if we needed to. But I don't know. I don't really know how it works.
I saw one.
He was saying to take that money, though, that extra money, that if you did have your money to meet your needs, to go ahead and do that anyway, and then use that to invest in yourself. You know what I mean?
Smart.
And it's something that you've been wanting to do right now while things are, it might be a good time to use it. And like BQH, for instance, say you were wanting to take the course or anything like that, or maybe just wanting to have a session or something.
My daughter's friend deferred her college loans. Yeah. Mm-hmm. They automatically gave her till September. They gave her a 6-month deferral. Wow. On college loans, and college loans is a government loan, and that's a couple $100 a month times 6.
Yeah,
that would pay for a lot of online coursework.
Yeah,
and you're not going to get charged you'll pay regular interest. Okay,
mm-hmm.
They did tell me that, but you'll get no penalties.
Right.
So your normal interest is going to go on every month, but you don't have to pay, and no penalties. So that is that extra bit of money if you always wanted to do something, but you couldn't.
Right.
Can't go anywhere. It has to be online.
That would be a great time to go because everything's cheap, right?
Oh my gosh.
Well, closed, really, I guess.
I don't know.
You could get somewhere on a plane flight pretty cheap, but what are you going to do when you get there, right?
Is anybody allowed to travel anymore? I mean, is it allowed? Didn't they say essential travel only? What's essential?
I don't know. That's weird, though. Yeah, I've seen so few planes going out of Tulsa International Airport.
I don't see any planes over me anymore, and Miami's just like down the road 2 hours that way.
Right.
So I always see the planes heading for Miami. You just do. You just, see them coming over South Florida.
So what we're about to do, this meditation, is actually the meditation I've been doing just periodically I'll just take a time and resonate with the feeling of all of this moving into something so beautiful that it's beyond our imagination. So letting go of those expectations of what it will look like, I
Yes.
think are huge. Let it be a surprise in your mind, but it's going to be so wonderful and
Okay,
perfect.
so tonight
You
then we
know,
will work on the feeling of gratitude instead of what does it look like, what does it sound like, because then you start to fill in the details.
right?
So we'll just keep it general and gratitude.
Yeah.
Gratitude is
Thankful for what
so
we have
powerful.
and what. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is.
Gratitude is like the number one manifesting tool. The more you are grateful for what you have, the easier you manifest. That I learned from Abraham for 25
Yeah.
years, easily following Esther Hicks.
And getting in the vortex is being grateful for what you
It
have
is.
that's in the future, you know.
And it heals you guys. The more grateful you are, the more endorphins and chemicals from Candace Pert's molecules of emotions. That stuff just kicks around in your body and it heals you when you're
Yeah.
being grateful. So the key is feeling it. Really, really feel the gratitude. You know, let yourself
Yeah.
go. Jane, if you're in the room, she always lets herself go. She always gets, you're going to be like the healthiest person in the world because after a meditation, she's like, you made me cry for like 2 years. And I'm like, wow, if you're feeling it, Jane, it's healing you.
Yeah. Yep,
That's what,
Jane is here.
hey, Jane, that's what Lynn McTaggart taught us, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. So yeah, I'm excited about this. Let me
And
see.
don't worry about it if you don't feel it emotionally yet. Just keep saying it until you feel it. It's that whole fake it till you make it in a positive way. It's like the more you say something, you start to believe it. Like, you know how they said if you're in a bad mood, smile.
All right.
And then if you smile, it kicks in all the chemicals and you suddenly feel better.
Yeah. They had us do that at the call center. Like
They'd have you
smile while
smile
you're on the
first.
phone. Yeah, because it puts you in a better mood, even though, and people can tell you're smiling when you're talking. So
Whoa.
yeah.
I've read psychological studies on that. Like with a pencil. I don't have a pencil. I have the wand that Joanne made for us. And they go, put something between your teeth. It makes your mouth smile. If you're feeling
Ah.
really down and really low, make yourself smile. And if you can't do it, then put a pencil between your teeth. And just the act of getting this up sends chemistry between the brain and all the glands and just
Wow.
floods you with happiness chemistry.
That's nice.
Isn't that awesome?
That is.
I think that's what we have here. We always smile. We smile and we laugh no matter what's on the table, no matter what we look at in life. In fact, that's one of the most grateful comments I get from our listeners. When they do write a gratitude email, they say, you make me feel really good about things that used to make me feel really bad. Right?
Yeah. That really does feel good when you know that you've helped somebody move away from the fear because there's nothing to fear,
No, no.
except fear itself or whatever
Except
they say.
fear itself. Who said that?
Yeah.
Was that Kennedy or Franklin Delano Roosevelt? It was Kennedy, wasn't it? Which one was it? FDR
I
or
thought it
Kennedy?
was FDR. I thought it was,
Oh, it
but
could be a Mandela effect. Maybe it was FDR.
yeah. Because
Okay, quick.
I think I thought it was JFK for a long
Yeah, I
time.
thought it was JFK. Quick Mandela survey, guys. Do you guys think you have nothing to fear? We have nothing to fear but fear itself. Was Franklin Delano, which was Delano for me, Roosevelt, or John F. Kennedy? Fitzgerald.
There was another one with him, a day or a date that will go down in
In
infamy,
infamy.
right?
Wasn't that Roosevelt for World War
Yeah. Do you
II?
remember it as day or date?
I'm listening to that crackly radio voice. It came out over the radio. I've always heard it on the radio, on videos. It's the Pearl Harbor Day. It's a day. It's a day that will go down in infamy. It is a day.
Yeah.
What is
That's
it
how I
now?
remember it.
Date?
It's date now. Yeah.
No. I can hear day clear as bell in my head.
Yeah. See, and I don't remember it originally, but I remember it sampled in music and just hearing clips of it and stuff
Yeah, me
like that.
too.
And it was a day. It
It
wasn't
was
a
a
date.
day that will go down in infamy. I suppose if we couldn't hear the T on the microphone, it might have been date, but the T was silent.
Right. But I
Right.
don't know. Maybe the mics just got Mandela and now we can hear the T on there and it's always been a T.
I don't know. Shifty, changey world, shifty. We're in a
Yeah.
world of fluid,
Yeah.
of plasma, and it's just shifty all over all the time.
And the cameras, you think about it, like cameras are better now. Like, I mean, the color, we got color film
God,
sooner
the
in this reality.
digital cameras that Dead GPK and Lone Eagle have been doing the tech before their time. They have crystal clear video images from the late 1800s.
Don't they
That
have some clips of some, I don't know, it seemed like it was the 50s where somebody, like one of those, I don't know, poodle high school girls had like a cell phone walking with it or
I
something?
saw that. So here she's walking, and it's like the 40s and the 50s, like this. But what was in her hand?
Looks like a smartphone.
It looks like a phone, but
Yeah.
what was it? Was it a phone?
Yeah, I don't know. There's another one where it was an old boxing match and it looked like somebody was taking a picture with their smartphone. But, you know.
I've seen a few of those now, mostly on Lone Eagles and some of them on Dead GPKs.
Time
And
travelers?
that's the question. Is it time traveler or is it an AI insertion? Is it a test to see who's paying attention? It's like, those things like, what's different with this picture to that picture? Maybe AI is inserting things online in places just to Easter eggs, like you and Sherry did those videos. They're just Easter eggs for people who are awake to see if they're paying attention.
Exactly.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you're singing, guys, don't be scared of it. It's the
Nope.
universe trying to wink at you, get your attention. It's like a
Wink,
synchronicity,
wink.
but way cooler. I mean,
Way cooler.
they get way cooler than that. So don't be frightened by it. Just know that the universe is letting you know it's there all the time. God,
Yep.
source, creator, whatever you feel comfortable calling.
Yeah, and if you're afraid of a simulation, don't be afraid of simulation, because you might be up there. Your higher self might have its hands on the control mechanism, playing this game of life down here with you. But it might be you pulling all the buttons up there.
Yeah.
Or it might be God. And either one is fine. If you are simulating it or if God is simulating it, enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
Right?
You just never know if we're going to wake up at any moment and find that we've gone into a mall on a weekend on some other planet to play this game called Earth. And we've really only been in the machine for like 2 hours, and we're like, oh my gosh, that was the craziest game ever.
I did birth to 89 years old in a 2-hour game in this, multidimensional mall that we're in, our higher self, going, wow, that lifetime was wicked. Not wicked. I hate using bad words for good things.
Right.
God, that lifetime was cool. Oh, I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? But you got to save up your money and you got to like rest and relax and recoup your energy to go back into the game in the cosmic mall to play another lifetime.
Yeah. And if you think about it, there would be, if it was a game like that, people just like Grand Theft Auto or whatever, people would play the bad parts. You're like, I get to go be a dictator for a lifetime. And
yeah, if you got to pick your character.
Yeah.
Well, we know what characters we picked for ourselves here because that's one thing we share. We just like want to help everybody.
Team love.
Yeah, service to all.
Yeah.
Team love. We're on team love. Woo!
And we're changing the world.
And we are changing our world. This is our world. It belongs to us and we are changing it. Okay, I think I'm ready. We're going to go gratitude. Remind me, we're going to go gratitude.
Gratitude.
Got it. Anything else? Any other words? Anything you want to seed in here so it comes out there?
Just being thankful, and then that can really extend to really anything. Protection and guidance and, resources or needs being met. I mean, there's so many things we can be thankful for at this point.
Okay, and that is actually going to seed and feed. We are going to be not only raising our vibration up, we're actually going to be feeding the grid of the ley lines here. So people are going to start to feel it everywhere.
Right.
Okie dokie. I'm ready for it.
We can be thankful for that too.
We can be thankful for that too. That we came here, we took this job application, and we said, I'll do that. Send me.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely. I'm excited.
And it's so much nicer doing it together than doing it all alone your whole life until you're like 55, 56 years old. And then you bump into other people on Unbiased and On the Fence, and you're like, wow. There's more people out there who think the same way.
Yeah. And now we're guiding the ship right now together.
We are guiding the ship, actually. That's the cool part, is we might be the material managers. We might be the manifestors on this plane, this whatever we're in. And we might be guiding the ship right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. Okay. I'll put my video off. Take a bit of water. Okay, so everybody, I'm getting my mic a little bit closer. So everyone just kind of sit back, move your neck a little bit, kind of scooch around and make sure you can be comfortable for about 10 to 15 minutes. And we always start with a nice, relaxing, deep breath in. Really just enjoy that oxygen filling your lungs, and exhale. This time, as you breathe in, really concentrate on relaxing all of your muscles. On the exhale, let the tension go. And finally, take a nice, deep, relaxing breath in. Try to fill up the lower part of your lungs. Let your tummy extend. And exhale completely. And now we're going to start breathing in the heart math's way, in through our heart center. And gently exhale out of the heart center. Go ahead and breathe in through the heart chakra and exhale all at a pace that feels really, really comfortable, very individual. As you continue to breathe in and out of your heart chakra, go ahead and send a grounding cord down from your root chakra, ruby red at the base of your spine. Send that cord down through the building, down through all the different layers of the earth. Let it go down fast or slowly, whatever pace you like, until it hits the center of the earth. And in the core, in the heart of the earth, let that grounding cord of light spread out in all directions. You are now firmly grounded, firmly rooted. You are safe. You are secure. And go ahead and breathe in love. Let it fill you up. And exhale forgiveness. And then switch it and breathe in forgiveness. Let forgiveness fill you up completely. And when you're ready, exhale love. And if you like, you may now take in a particular bright, clear, translucent light of any color. Take it in on the inhale. Let that color fill up your body from head to toe, and exhale that color back out. And know that whatever color you chose tonight will feed, energize, clear, clean, and balance that particular chakra, which also clears and cleans and energizes and heals and balances all the cells, all the organs, all the tissue around that chakra. And that is true in your physical body, your mental body, and your emotional body, and your spirit body. So now we're just going to virtually hold hands, and we are going to feel completely protected. If you want to put a bubble of light around yourself, go ahead and do so now, and start imagining being in a beautiful, sacred place. Now, that sacred place could range from your living room or your bedroom where you do regular prayers to a particular place you've actually been to, be it in nature, on a mountain, on a beach, in a woods, across a meadow, maybe in your back garden. Just put yourself in a beautiful, sacred place. And know now that you can completely relax because you are safe and you are protected. And we're going to join together in this moment that has no time restriction, whether you're doing it now, live, tonight, or doing it in the future sometime. You will completely tap in to the beautiful, loving energy that is here in the moment, because the moment is all there is, forever and always. Moving forward now in all directions of time, we are going to share the feeling, the expression of gratitude. We're just going to see what that feels like. What does it feel like in your body, in your mind, in your emotions to feel completely grateful? Grateful for all that you have and all that you have had in the past and all that you will have moving forward. What does that feel like to be grateful for the space that you always have? Be it your home, be it a walk in nature, be it with the sunshine, with the air, with the grass, the trees, the flowers. What about the birds and the turtles and the ducks and all the animals in our world? We are completely grateful for all the beautiful green growing greenery and all the amazing, wonderful animals. Now, what does it feel like to be completely grateful and appreciative, thankful from your heart? Let it flow from your heart center outwards, outwards into the world where you occupy space at all times just by being here. What does it feel like to be grateful and thankful for the air, the water, the sunshine, the starshine, the moonshine, the rain, the snow, the wind? What does it feel like to be completely thankful for the ground beneath your feet? Thankful now for the earth, all the minerals. Allow yourself to be completely grateful and completely thankful for all of your family, even those that you have disputes with. Just send them lots and lots of love and gratitude. And feel thankful for all of your family members, alive and those who have passed on. What does it feel like to take it back further in a place that has no time and be really grateful? Feel it for all your ancestors, all those many, many humans who walked and took up space in the same place before you that eventually became you here now. Go ahead and send them your gratitude, your thanks, and your appreciation. Really feel it. And how does it make you feel right now to be completely grateful for all of your friends and colleagues? Different family, not by blood, but maybe just as close and just as important to you. Neighbors, colleagues, friends from your past when you were a child. And maybe you haven't seen them or spoken to them in decades, but just really send the gratitude, the thanks, and the appreciation now to all of your friends, colleagues, and neighbors that you have ever known, that you know now, and that you will know in the future. And we can do the same now for all the pets that we've had, whether they're snakes and goldfish and frogs and turtles, or cats and dogs and horses and gerbils and mice and rats. I mean, my daughter once had pets of slugs that she caught in the garden. Go ahead and send that love and appreciation out for all of the animals that have actually formed a bonded relationship with you because you call them your pets, meaning you love them. They mean something to you. And now we're just going to move into the gratitude and appreciation and heartfelt thanks for our daily lives, for our food, for our housing, Go ahead and feel thankful for the energy that you use every day, be it gasoline in a car or a bus or a train, heat or air conditioning coming out into your personal little private space. The energy that runs through cell phones, the energy that runs through computers. Just be really grateful for that and how that connects us and how important that is that we can connect now from anywhere in the world. We can be together in the moment. And now let's be grateful for the peace and the relaxation that we feel every day and every night. And knowing that that peace and relaxation comes from within us, and we send it out into the space around us. And now we're just going to hold that gratitude, that heartfelt thanks and appreciation. We're going to hold that peace and that feeling of calm and relaxation for our future, for the best possible outcome for us and all concerned. And really just feel gratitude. Just be thankful that everything has worked out exactly as it should for the best possible outcome for all. We've already got that. That's a part of our lives right here, right now. Our future selves are feeling peaceful and calm and loving and forgiving, and our future selves are feeling just as grateful and just as thankful as our present selves are feeling right here, right now. We'll go silent for 3 minutes so that you can just concentrate on that beautiful healing feeling of gratitude. Now, before you open your eyes and let your grounding cord go, if you wish to, just give out one last big feeling of gratitude and love and thankfulness for your higher self, which is guiding you every moment of every day and night, and for God or source energy, which you are a part of and which is always with you and in you. And when you're ready, go ahead and open your eyes and start to move around. Really kind of stretch your neck, move your shoulders, your hands, and your feet. Yay, I didn't lose you.
No, it went good. In fact, I was so into it, I didn't even turn off the 3 minutes of silence. I'm like, oh, I forgot to turn off the.
That's okay. I just
It felt
always
really good though. I
take.
felt it. It felt like we could. I don't know. There's like the angelic realm that was almost joining in with us. It felt like.
I got very emotional. You probably heard my little voice cracking because I felt the angelic connection,
Yeah.
which I don't always feel. Sometimes I just feel very deep into like outer space by going inside. You just go
Hmm.
out somewhere. But tonight I definitely felt a kind of angelic presence with us.
Yeah, me too. And I do want to encourage people that, if you're having a hard time, ask for help. Don't let it get so bad that you cry out for help. You don't have to let it get that bad. Just, if you feel down, you feel fearful or scared, or you're dealing with anything at all, just ask for help. Ask to feel that presence, because you'll feel it come over you. Just like during this meditation, I could feel that. Back in church, it was the Holy Spirit, we called it. It's the chills that come over you, and you can feel that presence and that love and that peace come over you.
Peace. I just feel peace just everywhere. My whole body feels peace.
Which is what people need now.
And then my voice gets really weak and really quiet because I can't really speak loud because I'm feeling I feel bliss and peaceful. So then the voice gets really quiet and cracky.
Yeah.
But I'm always afraid that you're not going to be there when I come back because everything's so dodgy now with the tech. I'm like, I really hope everybody's going to be there when I turn my screen on.
We're here. We felt it and it was great.
Yay. Awesome. Yeah, I'm still emotional. Oh, that's good.
Very not cheerful. So fancy Nancy felt the angelic connection.
Nancy,
too.
did you feel it too? Yeah.
Yep, so did Alva. So a lot of people were feeling
Alva. It. I always go back and read all your comments because then I can be like with you guys, but I can't read comments while I'm on here. Because I can't think and talk and read at the same time. Even if I could see it, I wouldn't be able to concentrate.
It usually takes it being in red or caps for me to notice it. And still I miss a lot because I get involved in our conversation, but
most people don't mind, and most of them are chatting with each other,
right? Yeah.
Which is good because then I don't feel like I'm ignoring anybody.
Right, that's awesome. Well, thank you for a lovely meditation. It felt really great. I'm so glad all of you guys joined in with us here.
Thank you.
Now and later, which is actually now for you. So all of you now, right?
We are here with you now. We're in the here now with you then, which is here now. We're all together.
And we can feel you now while you're doing it now.
Yeah, we can. I really, really can. That's so cool.
Absolutely. So you guys hang in there. We'll be back next week, and we'll continue to change the world. Thank you, Eileen.
We will change the world one moment of now at a time.
Yep, the infinite moment of now.
The infinite now. Love you guys.
Lots of love, light, and unity to all of you guys. Thank you, Eileen.
Yep.
And we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Bye. Peace.
Be sure to check out the website at uotf.net. There you will find the live stream schedule displayed in your local time right there on the front page. Below that, you'll find links to take the Beyond Quantum Healing course at a discounted rate, purchase our book, Mandela Effect, Friend or Foe, in paperback or ebook, or to contact me to schedule a BQH session. At the top of the site, you'll find links to help support the work I do, access the free private forum where you can discuss organizing get-togethers in your area, Mandela effects, and more. Thank you all so much for being here.